What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You know, we're really trying to grow this channel. We're pumping out 3 videos a week right now, and we really appreciate you guys to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos coming soon. If you guys are new, the goal of my channel is to help you guys, the viewers, the subscribers, to help you guys catch more bass. So hopefully you guys can learn something from this video, but more than likely, you could go back and check out some of our other videos and probably learn something that'll help you guys catch more fish. So today we're kind of sitting in the boat, we're rigging up tackle. So we're gonna do a little bit of a heavy hitters preview. So the next tournament that I'll be fishing is the Major League Fishing Heavy Hitters Tournament. So it's kind of a specialty event. It's pretty unique. I don't think there's any other tournaments like it in the country. So we're just gonna kind of dive in, give you a little preview, show you a few of the baits that I'm rigging up, and just kind of walk through what I think is gonna be going on here at Heavy Hitters. All right, so Heavy Hitters is, like I said, it's kind of a unique tournament. It's basically, so you qualify the year before. So we're fishing here in May of 2024, but you qualified for this tournament throughout the 2023 season. So basically you take your biggest fish from each event in 2023. So there were 7 stages. So you took your biggest fish from each stage. So that was 7 total fish. And that qualifies you for heavy hitters. So the top 30 in those standings with their biggest 7 fish or biggest fish from each 7 events qualified you for this tournament, Heavy Hitters. So it's a really cool event. You know, this is my first one that I get to fish, but I've really done some research and looking into it here lately. Like, I'm really excited. It's essentially like a second championship. You know, we got our Red Crest year-end championship, but the Heavy Hitters is more of like a big fish celebration or big fish championship. So it's a pretty cool event. You know, it's definitely more geared towards those big fish. So like there's a huge purse for the championship round big fish. I mean, it's $100,000 for one fish in the championship round in Heavy Hitters. So it's a super cool event. So basically it's set up just like any other Bass Pro Tour tournament. You got your usual 6-day tournament. You got a Group A, a Group B that'll fish 2 days, cut the field down, and then you'll have a knockout round and then a championship round. So the format's the same, but where it gets a little different is 1, the minimum weights, and then 2, the emphasis on the big fish of the day. So in the first round, the qualifying round, the first 2 days combined, big fish is gonna be worth $10,000 for each group. So you got Group A, Group B, it's $10,000 a piece. So, you know, one big fish there could equal $10,000, and then, you know, you don't even have to move on to the knockout round. I mean, you could literally finish in last place, but catch that one big fish and you're walking home with $10,000. So that's pretty exciting in itself. And then, you know, you move on to the knockout round. So actually, let me back up. We got a 2-pound minimum for the qualifying round, and then you move on to the knockout round. We got a 2-pound minimum as well. And move on to the knockout round. It's the same format as always. You know, every fish counts over 2 pounds. But again, in the knockout round, 1 day of fishing, the big fish for that day is going to be $30,000. So you could just sneak into the knockout round, not make the championship round. You're going to get paid a normal payout for your normal finish, but you catch that big fish in the knockout round, that's $30,000 right there. I mean, that's a heck of a day of fishing, a heck of a prize to catch really one bass. So I'm excited about that. But then, you know, if you catch enough fish, you move on into the championship round. That's when things get crazy. Obviously, you got your regular tournament purse, like I said, you know, 1st through 10th gets a elevated, you know, kind of stair-step payout, $100,000 to win the tournament, and then it's $100,000 for the big fish on the championship day. So there's a lot of money up for grabs with Heavy Hitters, and I'm pretty excited to get there. So I don't even know if I've told you guys yet. Maybe you already know, but we're going to Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. We're going to the Kissimmee chain, Lake Toho, Hatchinahaw, Cypress, and Lake Kissimmee are all in play for this event. And we're going here in May. So, I mean, as you guys can see, I'm rigging up a bunch of topwaters. Because I think, you know, I've never really been to Florida outside of the early spring. I think the latest that I've actually fished a tournament in Florida has been March. So I'm excited to kind of get a different look on this fishery that I've, you know, I've been to a fair amount. I've been to the Kissimmee chain a fair amount, but it's always been in that January, February time frame, never more in the summer months like we have now. So I'm thinking topwater is going to be a big player, and that's what, you know, I think you can always catch big fish on a topwater. So that's something that I'm excited about. What's the issue here? Oh, we're wrapped up. So like I said, I'm rigging up some big topwaters. You know, I don't know why, but I got a feeling that guy right there is going to catch some big ones here in Florida. And then I got another feeling about this big giant guy down here. But yeah, so I'm thinking it's going to be a topwater. You know, there's probably going to be some bluegill beds or whatever they have down there, red ears, bluegills, tilapia. I mean, the bass are going to be eating. You know, they're not going to be worrying about spawning. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is, you know, I'm going to be looking for those really aggressive fish. But, you know, going back to the whole format of heavy hitters, it's really cool because even if I'm not having the best day as far as looking like I'm moving on to the next round or whatever, I can pick up a big bait, like a big glide bait, or even this guy. I don't even know what this is or where I got this, but this is a big giant topwater bait. So I could pick up something like this and say, you know, I'm out of the mix in the third period. It's not looking like I'm going to move on to the next round. Shoot, I can pick this guy up and fish for that big giant fish to win the big fish prize, whether it be $10,000, $30,000, $100,000, whatever. So it's really unique tournament, and you got two tournaments going on at the same time, essentially, because you know, obviously you can win the tournament, but everybody wants to catch that big fish and win that money. So, I mean, that guy right there, could that be the $100,000 bait right there? We don't know, but something's telling me, I got a feeling. You know, this bait, I couldn't even tell you what this is or where I got this or why I got this, but I didn't even have it in my topwater box. You know, I kind of had it just sitting here on the wall. It was hanging up on the wall, and I walked past it the other day and it caught my eye, and I was like, something's telling me to tie that guy on. So I got a feeling about that bait right there. That could be a $100,000 bait right there. I don't know why I got that feeling, but we're gonna rig it up and give it a shot, as well as a bunch of other topwaters. And then we're gonna dive into some other baits here and rig up a few other things I'll show you guys once we get this last topwater. But man, I can't tell you the last tournament that I've, I guess I'm rigging up for practice, but the last practice that I've gone into with 6 topwaters rigged up like I just did here. So that alone is pretty exciting to me. Now, we may get down there and not get a single bite on topwater, but I just got that feeling going into it. All right, what else we got to rig up here? Let's dig into these. The other cool thing, I mean, anytime you go to Florida, you know that you got the opportunity to catch them flipping. There's tons of grass. You know, Lake Toho is full of hydrilla, so you can always catch them kind of punching or flipping in that grass. There's all that Kissimmee grass, hay grass. So you always got to have a few flipping rods rigged up, and that's kind of what we're going with here. I'm going to have 2 options as far as flipping. So I'm going to have one that is, you know, more of just a weight and a bait, you know, more of just your standard flipping rig, and then I'm going to rig up a punch skirt as well, which is the brand new Epic Baits punch skirt. So when I'm using these big heavy flipping weights, I always like to snell my hook, just because I feel like it helps with those big heavy weights. When a fish grabs a hold of that big heavy rig, that it doesn't, you know, it may pop his mouth open, and I want that snell to kind of pop up with that hook into the roof of his mouth. So we're going to snell this guy on here. We got the Trocar TK133 flipping hook. It's kind of that Pro V bend style flipping hook on there. It's a little bit different, but you can see what that snell does. Whenever that weight comes down, it pops that hook straight up like that. So that's what I like to do with the snelling. All right, let's trim him off, and then let's rig up one more with a punch skirt, and then I think we may be done rigging. I just got to get some of these rods and baits cleaned up. I'll show you guys a few other ideas I have here for Lake Toho. So I'd like to let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this style videos. You know, this is something that we've talked about doing previously, but I've always been kind of on the fence about, you know, giving up this kind of information before practice started, just because, you know, some of my competitors could watch this video and kind of get an idea what I'm thinking previous to the tournament. So I've never really, you know, done this type of video, this kind of tournament preview before practice starts, but I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. So drop it in the comments below what you think of the practice previews and kind of rigging up videos. But here we got the Epic Baits punch skirt. So this is Bobby Lane designed these. I think he knows a thing or two about flipping, so I feel like you just rig these up and put a bait on there, and basically the fish jump in the boat. That's what I've been told. Anyway, this is just going to bulk up the profile, you know. So this is, dang, I think I got a bug in my shorts. It's no good. So this is going to bulk up the profile of your flipping bait, give it a bigger look, and I'm planning on kind of flipping this around in that Kissimmee grass. You know, maybe around where the bluegill are spawning, and just kind of see. I mean, this is a bait that could definitely catch those big fish that are going to win you that money, win you that big fish. So this is kind of a unique tournament, and I'm excited about it being my first heavy hitters tournament, because typically, you know, I'm more of a numbers guy. I'm fishing for numbers, but I'm excited to be able to, excited to be able to go and kind of target some big fish and be rewarded for it if you catch it. So that right there is the punch skirt rigged up, and man, that looks pretty good. I like that setup right there. So once he's rigged up, he'll be in there, and we'll put like a flapping hog or something inside there, and or a Yamacraw, something, just a big bulky profile, and flip him in around some of that more scattered grass. And I think we might catch a few on that. That looks good right there. I'm excited about that one. All right, what else we got going on? We need to get some rod socks on these rods. All right. Man, we got a mess. Of course, you always got to have a chatterbait. Anytime you go to Florida, especially, you got to have a chatterbait. What do we got here? We got another little, so this is another little flipping hook on here. This is for more of a, you know, more of a worm style. I could put a big Cinco on here and kind of throw it around those bluegill beds. I got another worm set up here. This would be more for kind of dragging a shell bed or something like that. Put a big Yamamoto Ichi worm on there. And then it kills me to say it, but I got an old Carolina rig rigged up. Man, that's, you know, you got to have it. whenever you go to Florida fishing around shell beds, I mean, I guess it's really shell beds. Anytime you're fishing shell beds, you got to have a Carolina rig rigged up. Let's get some rod socks on these. Okay, that's our other flipping setup. And then we got a big shaky head rigged up here as well for kind of another option for the Carolina rig. You know, just a big shaky head. I can put a big worm on there, drag him around, you know. If you guys are noticing a trend here, I'm going with a bunch of big baits because I want to catch that big fish. I want to win that big bass award. That'd be really cool to have that just as a you know, something to say that you've won. I won a big bass award that was worth $10,000, $30,000, $100,000. That'd be super cool just to, you know, just to have on your record. So here's a couple baits. This is what I'm planning on putting on the Carolina rig. This is the Yamamoto Slinko. So it's a very, not a lot of action on this bait. You know, this is made of floating plastic, so it's perfect for a Carolina rig, but it's just kind of very subtle, kind of floats around, and a lot of action in him. So he's gonna just kind of float around and dance behind that Carolina rig. So it's hard to beat a Slinko on the back of a Carolina rig. And then, like I said, with the big worms, this is a bait I haven't got to throw a whole lot yet because it was released last summer and it was kind of past the season that I would throw this, but this is the Okie worm. So we got the Ichi worm and then we got the Okie worm. And I mean, look at that thing. That thing's what, 12 inches long? It says it's 10 inches, but I don't know. That looks like a keeper to me. Let's pull out the trusty board. What do we got? He's 10 and a half. He's not quite a keeper, but he's almost a keeper. Man, that's a heck of a worm. So I'm gonna put that on that big shaky head, and then possibly even put him on like a Nico rig. So I mean, that's a big worm to be throwing on a spinning rod, but we'll see what we can do. But I'm excited because I think that right there is gonna catch a few. If I find some fish on like a shell bed, or you know, find some like current related fish, something like that, I think that big worm could be a player. But I don't know, that's just kind of my thoughts heading into heavy hitters. Like I said, drop it in the comments below what you guys think of this type of video. You know, this is something we could do prior to each tournament if you guys like it. So drop it in the comments below. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you learned something. I know I'm excited about the heavy hitters tournament, so hopefully you guys are as well. And wish us luck. We're gonna need it. So this is, like I said, this is kind of a unique tournament. So it's just gonna be Brittany and I this week. We don't got our usual Bass Pro Tour crew, so our pre-tournament video is just gonna be Brittany and I. Maybe I'll look around, see if maybe I can find a special guest, someone else in the tournament that could swing by the house and jump in for the video for you guys. But if not, it's just gonna be Brittany and I kind of recapping practice, but that video will be coming up next. And after that, it's game time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave those likes and comments down below. Don't forget, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.